Hello and welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is MrHurriicane, and it's time for me to reveal my Madden 18 franchise team. This is going to be my 7th major franchise series. I've done one every year since Madden 12 with the Minnesota Vikings. It's been a staple on the channel ever since, and now I'm about ready to begin a new journey on Madden 18. I knew I wanted to go back to the NFC this year, and I thought a lot about what team I wanted to be and what challenge I wanted to have. And this team, I've leaned toward picking them for the last couple months. And now it's time to reveal who is my franchise team on Madden 18. The Chicago Bears are my team in Madden 18. We're going back to the NFC North, the black and blue division, as I look to rebuild a once storied franchise that has not had much success in recent history. I bet this decision surprises a lot of you, but the Bears make a lot of sense as my team. As most of you know, I am a Minnesota Vikings fan, but I saw this as a very fun franchise opportunity. The NFC, first off, is a jam-packed conference. There are a lot of teams that could compete for playoff positions. I'm excited about that challenge, and I'm excited about the prospects of these late-season battles in the elements. We're going to see snow in this series. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of rain as well. Simply earning a wildcard spot in the NFC is no easy challenge. And just look at the NFC North rivals the Bears have. There are the Detroit Lions, who made the playoffs a season ago. They have a solid offense and key difference makers on defense. Then there are the Minnesota Vikings, who won the division 2 years ago. And the Vikings have one of the league's best defenses and just spent this last offseason working to improve their offense. But the Bears' biggest rival of all is in Green Bay. The Packers have easily been the most successful team in this division for quite some time. They have one of the game's best quarterbacks in Aaron Rodgers, and every year, you know they're going to be in the playoff hunt. So that takes us back to the Bears, a team that went 3-13 last season. They haven't had a winning record since 2012. In 9 out of their past 10 seasons, they have missed the playoffs. The Bears have been in rebuilding mode, and they do have a few players we can build around. You just saw one of the best right there, second-year running back Jordan Howard, who had a dominant rookie season, rushing for over 1,300 yards and destroying the Vikings twice in those 2 division games. Howard is what I would call a modern-day running back, a back who's big, runs with power, but whose game is not limited to simply being a power back. Howard can catch the football, and he has great athleticism as well. He might not be the fastest guy on the field, but he has more than one way of finding the end zone. Now, at quarterback, we will have the battle between Mike Glennon, the former Tampa Bay backup, and the number 3 overall pick, rookie quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. Now, Trubisky is the more intriguing of the 2 quarterbacks, and there's a very good chance he ends up starting in week 1 for us when the season gets underway. As far as this offense goes, we have a young quarterback in Trubisky and a young running back in Jordan Howard. Outside of that, the Bears' biggest strength would have to be their interior offensive line. It's hard to do better than Cody Whitehair, Kyle Long, and Josh Sitton. Those 3 will allow us, with Jordan Howard in tandem, to power run up the middle. And that's going to be the backbone of our offense, at least to begin. When it comes to throwing the football, our top receiving option is going to be the young Cameron Meredith. Meredith is a big physical receiver who should dominate down in the red zone, and I have high hopes for him in this series. There is also tight end Zach Miller, who is a veteran, and he's been very effective for the Bears. My main question out the gate, though, is beyond Meredith and Zach Miller, who else is going to step up in the passing game? The depth there really concerns me, especially at wide receiver. Now, we'll get back to offense here in a minute, and we'll check more on ratings and stuff after we get through a little gameplay here. When you talk about the Chicago Bears, you tend to think about defense. This team no longer has that defensive identity that teams feared years ago. While they do have some very good defensive players, this roster is incomplete. You don't go 3-13 by accident. With all this cap room the Bears have had in recent years, they've spent a lot on rebuilding the defense. At linebacker, they have Jarrell Freeman and Danny Trevathan in the middle, and those two will help us stop the run. We also have Pernell McPhee, who will rush off the edge. He's dealt with some injury issues as of late. On the opposite side, there is second-year linebacker Leonard Floyd, a player that the Bears hope can become a superstar for this defense. The defensive line has Akeem Hicks, and he should be a difference maker, but he's in the last year of his contract. And in the secondary, there are far more questions than answers. And when we're talking about a rebuilding team, I want long-term answers. We're going to get to the Bears' contract and overall roster situation here in a moment. But defensively, in the secondary, there is Prince Amukamara, a reliable veteran. There is also Kyle Fuller, a player that I liked a lot coming out of the draft, and he has been up and down for the Bears. He was very good to begin, and he's been trying to regain that same form. The Bears, for some reason, have made it a habit to draft players that I really like, so there are many players on this team that I've been a fan of, including Kyle Fuller, free safety Adrian Amos, who could be a very interesting player for us. He is a very rangy safety. Then on offense, there's Jeremy Langford. I know we have Jordan Howard, but Langford is a very good back to have come off the bench. And there's still Kevin White. He's battled through injuries, and this is his third season, but I still think that we can get some good play out of Kevin White. One of the biggest reasons why I chose the Bears is because they don't have a lot of top-tier talent. I wanted to pick a team that had a lot of rebuilding needs, and I see an opportunity with Chicago to bring in a lot of players through the draft and really turn this roster over, and it probably won't take that much time. I think there are major concerns on both sides of the football. The Bears have had a few bad seasons in a row, and you'd think they'd already be at this point, but they're still a team that has to get a lot younger. And you're going to see the age of a lot of these players here in just a moment. A couple more plays here in the video. But the Bears began to bring in veterans like Pernell McPhee and Danny Trevathan a couple years ago. And yet, these difference makers on defense have not been enough. I don't think the Bears anticipated it taking this long to be competitive again, but it's gotten them into one of the most awkward roster predicaments that I've seen. The Bears have 13 players who are 30 or older. Only 3 teams have more 30-year-old players than the Bears. A fair amount of these players are starters as well, but this is also a team where in a couple years, you're going to start seeing other players start to regress as they get older. Pernell McPhee is 28, so is Kyle Long. Danny Trevathan is 27, so even if you get a core of players in place, you're still going to have more work to do in a couple years down the road. So all we can do right now is try to construct a young core and go from there. The Bears will have some salary cap space, and we'll see what we can do. We begin, though, with a hopeful answer at the quarterback position, as Mitchell Trubisky was taken number 3 overall. The Bears need that long-term stability at quarterback, and perhaps Trubisky can offer that. They also had signed Mike Glennon already to a contract, and his ratings are not as nice as Trubisky's, and obviously Mitchell Trubisky is younger and offers significantly more upside. Jordan Howard, like I mentioned, he is a very, very good running back, and I think that he's going to be a player we can build an offense around. We already have the interior line in place, and Howard is coming off a great season. He rushed for over 1,300 yards on a team that wasn't leading in a lot of their games. Still, though, you have to pass the football. And at wide receiver, I think Cameron Meredith will have a very busy first year in this series. Nobody else on this roster matches his skill set. And he's going to be one of the most important players by far in the first season. Now, what the Bears have done outside of Meredith is interesting. They acquired as many veterans as they could. Victor Cruz, Kendall Wright, Marcus Wheaton, Ruben Randall. I'm more concerned about if Kevin White is going to become an effective receiver for us. The Bears took him very high in the draft, and unfortunately he missed his entire rookie season. Now we're trying to see if we can get Kevin White developed in the remaining 2 years of his rookie contract. He only has 19 career catches, no touchdowns, and we still have to work on his route running, his hands, and his overall awareness. At tight end, Zach Miller should be a very reliable player. He can run block effectively, and hopefully he does not regress too quickly, because he is a great balanced tight end. But the Bears are prepared to replace him, if need be, with the second pick they took this year in the draft, Adam Shaheen from Ashland, who is 277 pounds and offers good speed for that size and should be another receiving threat. At left tackle, there's Charles Leno, who they're about to sign to an extension, or they already have. They have Kyle Long as well, who's a better pass blocker than run blocker. But Cody Whitehair had a great rookie season. He should be a fixture in this offensive line for years to come. And then there is Josh Sitton, the veteran, who hopefully still has a few good years left, even though he's already 31 years old. We will want to address right tackle at some point, as Bobby Massey only has 76 pass block and 73 run block. Defensively, Akeem Hicks should be a great run stopper and pass rusher for us. And alongside him, there is Mitch Unrein and the 23-year-old Eddie Goldman. And Goldman's one of those players I hope is a part of this young core we can develop throughout this series. Pernell McPhee is 28 years old, but I still expect he'll be able to get after the quarterback in this season with the Bears. This team really needs Leonard Floyd to realize his potential as well, and he already has that 86 speed, 86 finesse moves. He and McPhee are very opposites in terms of play style, but they should hopefully form a very effective duo. Floyd had 6.5 sacks in his rookie campaign. I think that we could have a good run-stopping defense to begin the series. I'm more concerned about defending the pass. Freeman is a very good tackler, and he has 90 play rec, 90 pursuit, so I expect he'll be very active in run defense. And then there's Danny Trevathan, who's also a very good tackler. In the secondary, Kyle Fuller, in the last year of his contract, we'll see if he earns another one with the Chicago Bears. Prince Amukamara, I mentioned him, he's on a one-year contract as well. Amukamara should be a reliable starter, but he's only on a one-year contract. The 24-year-old Adrian Amos plays free safety, and I think that he could develop into a rangy center fielder for our defense. And at strong safety, there is the veteran Quentin Demps. At kicker, we have Connor Barth, punter Pat O'Donnell, and we won't have a third-round pick in the first year, but do have 2 4s. So we've identified some of the age concerns on this team, but how about the contract concerns? These are all the players who will be free agents after year 1 of the series. Among the starters there include Prince Amukamara, Akeem Hicks, Cameron Meredith, Zach Miller, Jay Howard. So big decisions will have to be made. And how about the brutal start to our schedule? We go Falcons, Buccaneers, Steelers, Packers, Vikings to begin the season. I think the Bears are one of the most challenging teams to select for franchise this year, and that's part of why I chose them. I want that challenge. I want to go back to the NFC North, and I'm excited to get going. Now, I still have to wrap up my Chargers franchise and figure out sliders for this series, so I don't have any sort of timetable yet for the beginning of the series or the first episode, but I will keep you all updated through videos as I get closer to the start of the series. And once we do get underway, there is one more surprise I have to show you, but it's going to have to wait until we get into the opening episode. So thank you all for watching. Please leave your feedback below and let me know what you think of this decision. And let me know if you're excited. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I will see you all next time. Have a great day.